Welcome to Talking Jets. My name is Ryan, and I'll be your pilot tonight. I am joined alongside my co-pilots. I've got Matt O'Leary and Green Bean, the Jets fan. Boys, how you doing tonight? Matt, I'm going to throw it to you first.
Doing pretty good. I'm very happy that the bye week is here. I need a mental break. Just need to decompress for a little bit, and I'm sure you guys feel the same way. So I'm very excited for it.
Green Bean, what about you? How are you doing tonight?
Yeah, it's funny. I heard Salah say this week that they reserve the late bye weeks for potential playoff teams, and we're up first. So it's funny. I didn't organize that. And I'm like, that's interesting. But I think it's a good time for it with our current situation. So that gives me hope. Therefore, I'm nice, warm, and fuzzy.
I love it. I love it. Boys and girls, drop a like on this video if you're just coming in with us. For every 25 likes we get on this video, we're going to pick a qualifier to win a shirt at the end of this stream. And if you're watching this stream after it has aired, just leave a comment on this video afterwards, and you'll be entered into next week's t-shirt giveaway. So that is how we get everyone involved. We're all inclusive here at Jets Talk, Talking Jets panel. All right. So unfortunately, we wind up going over to London. Jets wind up losing by the score 20-27 to the Atlanta Falcons. Not a great showing overall. So I want to get your thoughts. Green Bean, I'll kick it to you first. What were your thoughts on the game as a whole?
So disappointing, man. It was just really, it was like getting kicked in the gut. We had such high energy and positive vibes going in where, all the guys over there, Chris Johnson hanging out with the fans in a pub, just all kinds of positivity. All the talking heads picked the Jets to win, which is always a bad sign, by the way. And it's not even that we lost. Like, if we would have just come out, hard-fought game and lost, it'd be fine, honestly. Disappointing, but fine. But the way that we have come out now in every single game, it's not just getting it together. Like, this is a trend now. So that really, it rubs me wrong, and I don't like what we're seeing. And I think I see a lot of over complications. So I think the game was an incredibly huge disappointment. Look, we came back a little bit, made it a game, but we even blew that with the same things that were giving us problems in the first half. So I can't help it. Like, I wanted to go into this bye on a positive run. Even if we lost every other game this year, I really wanted this one for numerous reasons. And the fact that we didn't, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth, and it sucks, man. So I didn't like the game very much, Ryan.
Matt, what about you? How did you feel about our early 9:30 game that wound up not being as thrilling as we were hoping it would be?
Definitely disappointed. I'm with Green Bean on this one all week. I was looking forward to this game because I looked at the matchup on paper and I thought, okay, this is a defense that gives up 30 points to everyone. They are really, really bad. And I thought the Jets would exploit that, especially after having such success in the second half of Tennessee. And they were so absent in the first half. And for the first time all year, the defense just didn't show up. And I don't want to pick on the defense. My only gripe with the defense is on the play calling, having John Franklin Myers cover Kyle freaking Pitts or Bryce Huff try to cover Hayden Hurst is just banana land for anybody. But
there it is.
Yeah. So like that's really my one gripe. Like, I understand they didn't get up for the game either, but I mean, they've bailed out this team through the first 4 games of the year. So I'm going to give them a break on this one. But yeah, man, offensively, just dead, boring, no fun in the first half.
Yeah, and I see in our chat we have our good buddy UCF Jaguar popping in. He says Jags and Jets are both still suck. Yes, we both do. But hey, you know what? We were told Trevor Lawrence should not come to New York because our situation would be a circus. And I'm sorry, UCF Jaguar, but your coaching situation. Let's just say you're very lucky that the Gruden thing happened, because all of a sudden Urban Meyer is no longer in the headlines. Ugh, no bueno. Sorry to take
a good point though about Gruden.
It's definitely true.
Saved him.
So 9:30 in the morning, I wake up, I roll out of bed. I'm like, this is going to be fantastic. We're getting our second win in a row for the first time in however long. I'm just really excited about this. And then I sit down, I kick up my feet, turn on my TV. And then like right out the gate, we get this BS roughing the passer call that has me pulling my hair out. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. How is that a roughing the passer? Like, I understand we're getting all like cutesy with, okay, don't land on the quarterback, like drive your shoulder into the ground. But like, I don't even think he did that. It's not like he like really laid into him at all. So that was a bad call. And it just sort of set the tone for the rest of the game. At least that it did for me. And you just watch them go down the field and work their way down the field. I would have loved to have seen a little bit more, like a 3 and out, or, two, they convert, get a first down and then stop them there, whatever, just so we could get the ball back and just kind of like get our flow going. But we literally had, I think Zach Wilson said it today, we've had like an average of 7 plays, I think 7 offensive plays in the first quarter of games because we were just so stale and it's hard to get any rhythm going, which is definitely true. I mean, part of that is on Zach Wilson, part of that is on the floor, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But, dude, I could not tell you how frustrated I was watching this game because it felt like we should have been in it, and it felt like we were not in it, like, at all this entire game. And you take away those 2 really crazy calls that Matt alluded to with the John Franklin Myers on Pitts and Hayden Hurst getting covered by Bryce Hall. And I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, that's Huff. Like, what's he doing back there? And I'm just like, man, really? Like, we're trying to outthink ourselves. And I think 𝐒𝐿BRICK just got way too cute. And we heard earlier in the week that he's got inside data on the Falcons, and he's going to use this to his advantage, and Jets are going to have the upper hand and whatnot. And man, was that friggin' awful. It was absolutely terrible. I don't know. Just causing.
Yeah, it was terrible, man. But you're so right. I mean, that's the word I've been using since Sunday morning, like cute. Like, why are we getting so cute? What is this? Why are we overcomplicating everything? It's all in the same vein as having Tyler Kroft out wide, or even Elijah Moore out wide. We have a 6'3" wide receiver who can't get on the field, but we got Ryan Griffin and Tyler Kroft split out wide. We have defensive ends covering tight ends, really athletic tight ends. Last week we had Quinnen Williams covering some people. So there's a lot of that stuff. Like, we don't even have our feet set. Like you said, with the first quarter, we can't even get out of our own way in the first quarter. Yet we're adding all these crazy wrinkles. What about the 2nd and 5 when we were legitimately coming back? 2nd and 5, he throws it 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Like, what? Why? The running game is working. Even a short pass, like just something easy. We needed 5 yards. And it basically killed all of our momentum if we even had any. So, like, there's a lot of that cuteness going around. And I think they might be trying to accomplish things that they're not able to reach yet. Like, we got to lay the foundation. We have to put our shoes on. Like, that's where we are. Let's get our shoes on before we start trying to dunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to walk before you can run.
There it is.
That's exactly the mentality. Matt, any more thoughts on this?
Yeah, there were definitely instances where I think the play calling wasn't great, but it's not completely fair to just say that it was all on the floor, because when your quarterback can't execute screens, then like you're doomed. It was just one of those days. Like, there are going to be games where your rookie looks like a rookie, and hopefully those become more, fewer and far between here after the bye week. But I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. To me, I don't know about how you guys feel. I just feel like he's so like amped up and way in his head, like overthinking these things. And that's why he's not able to execute these throws. He's just got to play, throw the ball, man. You're going to be fine.
Yeah, so that's a good jumping off point for our thoughts on Zach Wilson. He winds up going, what was it? I don't even have the stats in front of me. I want to say it was 19 of 32 or something like that. I think it was under 200 yards, 197 yards, and the interception. And I can't tell you how frustrated I was watching him just miss open receivers. He threw behind Corey Davis for what feels like the 3rd or 4th time in that same spot, like all the time. And the first 2 times he did it in previous games, I thought, okay, he's shielding his receiver from getting whacked. And that's a good throw. I'm okay with that. But this one, clearly not a good throw. Jamison Crowder out in the right flat, couldn't hit him. Had all the room in front of him to run. Griffin running across on the drag route, throws behind him. Keelan Cole, awful throw.
Yeah,
I thought Wilson was really good on those outside throws, like the comebacks and whatnot, and the throw was not even remotely close to Keelan Cole and winds up getting intercepted. And I pegged this loss overall. I put a lot of it on the coaching, and I put a lot of it, secondly on Zach Wilson. I think there's opportunities for us to see the offense start clicking, and I feel like LaFleur does get a bad rap because of his young quarterback's inability to complete some easy passes that could sustain drives and get us into a little bit more of a rhythm. And earlier into the season, we're only 5 weeks in, but earlier in the season, we saw receivers drop passes, which stalled out drives. So we're not clicking on all cylinders in all these different respects. And now it just kind of seems like we're having another Zach Wilson game. And hopefully he goes home, he talks to Beck, his quarterback coach, and he's able to kind of reset his feet, his footwork, kind of get out of his own head. Because he was saying something, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but I saw some tweets talking about how he's trying to put a lot on himself and he's trying to be very robotic, and he's not just throwing the ball. He's trying to aim the ball, and he's not just playing. And that's where he thinks some of the inaccuracies are coming in, which could just be all fluff and doesn't really mean anything. But Greedy, I'll throw it to you. What are your thoughts on Zach Wilson and how he performed?
Well, let me say this. I completely agree with you. And what Matt was saying before, that he's kind of amped up and in his head, I think that is 100% dead on accurate. The problem that I have is, it goes back with what I was saying, is that I think that they're unnecessarily complicating things for everybody. We saw how long it took the offensive line to get going. We saw, Denzel Mims has to learn 3 positions, and it goes on and on and on. I think that game was, in my opinion, the worst Zach Wilson game. Even the 4 interception game, in my opinion, he wasn't as off in that game as he was on Sunday. Like you guys are pointing out, he missed 2 beautiful screen opportunities. And then all the examples that you gave, I mean, he's incapable of making the simplest throws. So of course it's on him. It is on him. He should be able to do that. But again, I think that what we're doing as an offense in general is creating that. There's a lot of thinking going on our squad, and I think it's unnecessarily so. I don't know all the specifics, of course, but that's what I see just across the board. I see a lot of that. And I think that Zach Wilson is trying to do too much, but he's thinking too much. Like you said, if he's trying to aim the ball, the kid got here by throwing the ball. And for some reason, he's outside of that. He was doing a really interesting footwork work issue where he was leaning on his left foot and only using his arm. It was interesting. I don't know if I noticed it last week in overtime. That was the first time I noticed it. But anyway, I think that Zach Wilson, it was on him. If he played well, we have a much greater chance in that game. But I think there's a deeper issue, which this 2 weeks, I think, couldn't come at a better time, because maybe they can actually slow down and address it.
Matt, what about you? How are you feeling about Zach Wilson?
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously struggled. I am by no means out on Zach. The reactions, I think, are way overblown. He's played like a rookie. Most of these rookie quarterbacks have struggled. I mean, it's just the reality of the situation. Not everyone's going to come in and look like Deshaun Watson or Justin Herbert right away. There's going to be ups and downs of a rookie season. And I mean, another thing too that a lot of people aren't bringing up, or I guess not enough people are bringing up, with the rookie OC, there was supposed to be Greg Knapp here too to kind of help guide him along, and he's not here, unfortunately, for really horrible circumstances, unfortunately. So I wonder how much of a role that could have in all of this too. It's just, there's a lot going on with Wilson, and like I said earlier, I think it's all in his head right now, because the flashes of brilliance has been really exciting. He's just got to put it together consistently. And I'm hoping that this, team starts to be more consistent in the second half of the season. I mean, they're the youngest team in football. We got to give them a little bit of a break.
Yeah, you got to give these guys time to gel and kind of figure it all out. And everyone's kind of learning on the fly. And I think for me with Zach, I'd love to see him progress more in the on-schedule things, because the off-schedule stuff, when he's running around and he's slinging it downfield, like that's the exciting stuff that I know he's good at, but it's not stuff you can rely on. It's not stuff that's always going to be available to you. And we saw what happened on Monday night or Sunday Night Football with the Bills and the Chiefs, when the Bills decided to drop 8 guys into coverage and you only have 3 guys rushing Mahomes, because everyone likes to compare Wilson to Mahomes and all that good stuff and the gadgety type throws. When you drop 8 guys in coverage, you don't get those types of plays anymore. And all of a sudden you start to look like you're neutralizing a really talented quarterback. So I'd like to see Zach get better at the screen pass, at these short plays, throw him some slants, get him kind of into a rhythm and whatnot. And I think, like Green Bean said, that this bye week could not be coming at a better time. And Matt, I completely agree with you. Knapp passing away, I think, does play a huge role in the development of this overall offensive scheme. And I do think he was going to be the wisdom portion that we could have gotten from a veteran quarterback like a McCown. And I think that's kind of why the Jets felt comfortable moving forward the way they did. And to lose him, I think, was definitely something obviously no one expected, but I think we were just not prepared with a backup option at that point. So it's not great. I have to admit, in the chat, I am getting thoroughly confused when people are talking about Matt Ryan, and I think they're talking about Matt and Ryan. It's throwing me for a loop. I'm like glancing over every now and then. I'm like, man, what the heck are they talking about over there? I was like, I keep seeing my name and Matt's name. I was like, do I got something on my face? I'm trying to wipe
Matt
it off.
Ryan. That's funny.
Ugh.
I like it.
Guys, for every 25 likes we get, we're going to pick a qualifier for a t-shirt at the end of this stream. Green Bean, the Jets fan.
Yep, I'm in.
Green Bean. He's qualified. Nightbot selected Green Bean as one of our qualifiers. We also have Mikey Malz. Mikey Malz, you are also qualified for our t-shirt giveaway. I have my key queued up, so once we get those 2 more likes needed, I will fire away and we'll get another qualifier as well. And if you're watching this after the fact, don't forget to drop a comment, and we will get you qualified for next week's t-shirt. All right, so any additional thoughts on Zach Wilson before we move on to the offense as a whole? Green Bean.
Wait, so the offense as a whole?
No. I'm just asking, do you have any more thoughts on Zach Wilson before we move on to the offense?
Oh, yeah. Well, real quick, I want to make sure that, I completely agree with everything that you guys are saying. I'm merely talking about what the issue is, how we're going to fix it. I just hope that we can. But, the passing of Greg Knapp, and we've talked about that on here quite a few times. They brought in Matt Cavanaugh to try and fill some of that, but there's the whole comfort level thing. That's going to, that in itself is going to take a lot of time. And I think that, look, like we said, we have rookie everything. So there's going to be those problems, but what the problems are these things that we're seeing. And it would be really nice if they just knew to simplify things to a degree that we could actually be an offense. Like coming out 7 plays in the first quarter, and against New England, we had 4 offensive plays. And so that type of a trend, we can, even with the situation that we have with rookie OC, rookie head coach, rookie quarterback, I still think that we should be able to compete. You know what I mean? Still be able to, throw screen passes, let's say, for an example. So I think, I think the reasons for it are, I'm in complete agreement with what we're saying, but at the same time, I still think that they're adding complexities when, with their situation being considered, they should absolutely be kind of, like you said, walking before they run.
Matt, what about you? Anything more to add?
A player's career is not defined after 20 quarters.
Oh, there we go. There we go. See, it's almost like people were getting upset at Vera Tucker, and then he did all right the last 2.
Sorry, my patience has been low this week. I've been a little more irritable than usual. So
why you got Linderbaum in the draft, man?
I love Linderbaum. I want to give him a big kiss. He's the best.
Your draft was good. I got up to the 4th round. I was listening.
Thank you.
It was good. I'm in.
Yes, I know.
I'm like,
Some people were mad that I did a mock draft already, but I'm just trying to have some fun on the bye week.
Yeah. No, but you did the thing. You did the thing in the beginning. You said, I know it's too early.
Yeah.
I know all that. I'm just having some fun. Anybody
That's
getting
it.
mad after you said that, that's on them.
Yeah, that's all. We're just having fun, dude. That's it.
Yeah.
let's be honest. We're going to start talking about the draft the more and more losses we wind up getting, and having a heads up for some of these key these key college matchups, like an Iowa game. I think that was important to watch. I think that's definitely going to be a key target for us. Now, how high do we want to take him? I've seen mocks with him going as high as 15. So then you're talking, hopefully the Seattle pick's going to be real high, and that's where we're kind of potentially looking at. But I'm right there with you. I'm all about looking at, some draft stuff because, look, we're not looking for the playoffs. If we somehow stumble our way into a potential like crazy situation where we're talking playoffs, like, okay, yeah, then I'll disregard the draft. But who cares? Draft is completely separate from everything going on this season.
Yeah. It's okay though.
Let's see. I saw the super chat come in. Where'd it go? Bam! V-Man drops in with super chat and says, non-football topic. Halloween is around the corner and General Mills has brought out their monster cereal. Which is your favorite in the chat?
Ooh.
Monster
What
cereal.
are the monster cereals?
Oh my God. Count Chocula, Frankenberry, Blueberry.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that was what we were talking about.
Yummy Mummy.
Fruity Gummy Mummy. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, Fruity Yummy Mummy. They don't do that one. They only put out the big three these days, which is Count Chocula, Frankenberry, and even Blueberry. I don't see that often, but I love them shits. They're my fave.
So what's your favorite? I would say I'm a Count Chocula because I'm a chocolate milk kind of guy.
Yeah, I am too generally, but there's something about Frankenberry that makes I think if I just had to grab one, it would be Frankenberry for me.
Oh, okay. Now, are you guys planning to do anything Halloween-wise, party-wise, dress-up-wise? What kind of costumes you guys thinking this year?
Ooh. So I'm doing it's a very niche costume, but I'll let you know. So there's this podcast that I like. It's with two comedians, Chris DiStefano and Sal Vulcano from Practical Jokers. It's called Hey Babe. So me and my girlfriend Taylor are dressing up as them and gonna do a mock podcast episode for laughs at our Halloween party.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh.
I've had the opportunity to meet those guys. They've skied over at Mountain Creek a few times.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, they're pretty nice guys. What about you, Green Bean? You dressing up at all?
You know what? I don't know. I know, look, I still have kids, so we do a lot of stuff for Halloween. We've already done, 2 corn mazes. I did the largest corn maze in the United States the other day. I do all that kind of stuff. But hey, Meryl, are we getting dressed up for Halloween or anything? She literally went, what? So I guess we're not doing anything. The kid. What? Oh, she said, no, I meant what? Of course we are. We usually do some sort of zombie stuff. And, we do stuff as a family. I'm a witch. So I'm not sure yet, but something will happen.
Becca and I'm going to be Shaggy. She's going to be Scooby-Doo. That's our.
That's good.
Love it.
Guys in the chat, let us know what are you going to be for Halloween? Because I always like hearing what people come up with. I hear a lot of people are going to do the Squid Game thing with the face and whatnot. I haven't watched it yet. I'm sorry, I can't.
Can I ask you guys a question? I went in there just yesterday to watch Squid Game for the first time, and it was some Japanese show, like a sitcom.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is. Yeah,
I thought it was like games. I thought it was like a game show. It's not a game show.
No, it's dubbed. Is it Korean? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, forgive me, my bad. But I thought it was. I was waiting to go and watch a game show, and I'm watching this. The guy's a better, and he's getting beat up. I'm like, what the? I'm watching him with my daughter. Like, what is this? So I got confused. Everybody loves this show.
That's amazing. That's the best thing I could see. AZ Jets, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, love Coach and Joe Douglas, but how are they not taking? How are they not taking a swing on Trey Smith in the 6th? Now starts for KC and has been dominant. Wish we had him at right guard. Go Jets. Yeah, all of us wish that. We were pounding the table for this guy during the draft. We were pounding the table for him. We're like, yo, we understand. What was it? Like he had some blood disorder or something like that, or clotting issue, where it's like, yo, I know it's like late, but this guy was considered like a really, really high level talent, like top 2 round talent. And he just kept falling and falling and falling. And the Chiefs got the benefit of the doubt. Like they got the player. Those are the types of players I want to see the Jets take a swing on. And especially because it's a position in need too. Like you can't, that one hurt. I miss having that one.
Yeah, and let me tell you, guys know I'm a pretty solid supporter of Joe Douglas overall. Like I really like more of what he's doing than I don't. But like that's been a slight little side issue for me. I'm like loving the first round pick offensive lineman thing, but I'm just thinking with so many picks, I'm a little disappointed that he didn't take another swing at offensive line, particularly inside offensive line later in the draft when we were grabbing all the cornerbacks. And then like the Jonathan Marshall thing, hey, he might be great. That's where I really wanted to cap it with another guard or something, you know?
Yeah. Gotta have those practice squad defensive tackles.
Exactly. Just got to stack guys. You never know. We're probably not bringing back Foley next year, so you're gonna have to have that depth.
Yeah, that was a little reactionary on my part, but it's in the moment. Yeah, it is a little frustrating watching Trey Smith start and play well when we were kind of banging the table for him.
Yep, especially since he's been the highest graded offensive lineman according to Pro Football Focus. Now Vera Tucker is number 2, so can't say we're upset with where we've the trades we've made, but man, it would be nice to have the top 2. That would have been something special. WA2K 99 dropping in with super chat says, for Halloween, I'm going to be a Jets fan. I'm going to be the Jets' first quarter offense. I'll be invisible.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, zing. I'm going to the Bengals Jets Halloween game. Undecided if I'm going to dress up. I don't know if I'll be in the stadium.
Ryan, they have to wear black with the Bengals wearing orange, right? Like it has to happen.
That's the Halloween, right? That would be really cool.
Good call. I wasn't even thinking that, but you're right. That's a missed opportunity if they don't.
Totally. Like the deep full orange jerseys, you know what I mean? And then us in the black. That'd be fantastic. Be a good way to lose.
That's I originally got tickets to that game because I was like, oh, you know what, the Jets are gonna have a shot. I opted out of tickets. I had the opportunity to go Jets Titans. I opted out of the tickets, and I wound up going like, oh, I'll go to the Bengal game. This is what's gonna happen. Jets are gonna get smoked by the Bengals. Now it looks like they're playing well. They figured it out, and the Jets wind up having an amazing game against the Titans. That's just how my luck works out.
Yeah, well, hey, man, our luck has been pretty firmed up with when we all went to the opener and we saw 4 picks. So, like, I mean, our luck is not in question. We don't have any, you know?
Jeremy, where'd it go? Hold on, I was just here. Jeremy says for Halloween, he's going to dress up like a bald wannabe YouTube content creator.
That's great.
I love you, Jeremy. I love the sense of humor.
Oh, that's good.
Liam says Trey Smith is Bryce Hall of last year's draft. That's a good way of putting that. Dude, Bryce Hall has been so friggin' clutch for this team.
Yep.
He's like single-handedly saving the 2020 draft class. Man. Let's see what else we got going on. I'm just scrolling through the chat, seeing if we got anything funny popping up. Ooh, here's an interesting one. So Crypto Unit says, do you think it's time for the offensive coordinator to go to the booth? I think it's a discussion you might want to have. Now, I was having a discussion with someone yesterday about, do we have a feeling that maybe LaFleur and Saleh are too close and the friendship may get in the way of Saleh potentially saying what needs to be said about the offense, or does that relationship impact the dynamic that should be going on maybe on offense? So, Matt, I'll throw that to you. What do you think about their relationship, and is it impeding progress?
I don't know. I don't think so. I had to think about it for a second. I don't know how much it really matters. I feel like it'd be more beneficial to have him on the field, to put his arm around Zach and kind of take him under his wing, unless you want the quarterback coach to do that. I don't know. I feel like there's different ways that you could do it. I don't really have a strong opinion one way or the other if you should be on the field or the booth.
Greenby, what about you? What do you think about the offensive coordinator, Mike LaFleur, going to the booth? And do you think his friendship with Saleh could be impeding, the growth of this offense?
Well, a couple things. One is I do think that he should be wherever he's comfortable. Like, I get why we heard, Zach Wilson preferred him to be there, but now with Matt Cavanaugh there and the whole thing, I just think, I don't know why he's not where he's most comfortable. That's on them. But I think that if it can help, sure, I don't see why not. I don't know why we would be so resistant to that. As far as the friendship, look, I don't think that LaFleur's story is written. Like, I don't think that. Like, I'm not exactly happy with how it's going so far, but I'm not thinking that he needs to be fired or anything. I'm nowhere near that. Now, that said, if it does get to there, I think that the friendship could potentially be a problem. They're really close. Like, they've been, he's best friends with his brother. They kind of grew up together in many respects, at least in their young adulthood. So I think it can pose a problem later. But I think for now, I'm not so concerned with it. I don't think that's really that it's an issue right now.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm looking at the team as a whole, and I realize they're young, so I have no problem with LaFleur figuring it out on the fly. Now, of course, you want to see him. I think if Wilson were hitting his throws and the offense was still stalling out, then I'd probably have more issues with it. But right now, it feels more like a Wilson issue than maybe an overall LaFleur issue. I know we could pick things apart each game, but by and large, I'm okay with letting him learn on the fly. And I'll be honest, I don't want to consider moving on from him after this year, even if he's not playing great. I would prefer our rookie be in the same system longer than 1 year, switch offensive coordinators on him. So I would like to give him 2 years, even if he's not, playing that great.
Agreed.
I want to throw this up real quick. Boycott Activision. Says Mims, second best player last week. AVT 92.4, Mims 84.7, Fant 83.1, McGovern 80.2, GVR 74.8, 𝐒𝐿 67.1, Crowder 66.9, Carter 66.8, Davis 64.7, Berrios 64.3. And what's crazy is you look at that, and most of that is all offensive line. Morgan Moses wound up upgrading the worst of the 5 offensive linemen, and I want to say it was like a 50 or 60 or something like that. Greg Van Roten playing as well as he did was definitely surprising for me. I did not think he was going to play that well where he would have graded that high. AVT playing lights out is something I want to continue to see. Guys, any thoughts on the Pro Football Focus grades for this week?
I'm very surprised that AVT wasn't a bust after how he played in his first 2 games.
I sense a theme.
It's shocking. You're telling me these guys are not a finished book after the first page?
But I'm very, to take this back to serious for a second, I am very, not surprised. Sorry. I was trying to say very pleased with how he's been developing game over game. It feels like each week he's getting a little bit better and better, which is exactly what you want.
I'm going to screw this name up. 𝐿𝐶𝐞𝐚𝐫𝐲. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Been a Jets fan since the Al Toon era. Loved watching you guys. I have faith in the new regime, but they need to adapt to the talent. Give Mims a chance. Free Mims! Yes! Unleash Mims. You guys see the Becton tweet?
No.
I can't see because of the bar on the bottom.
But I did see the Becton. I love the Becton tweet, man.
Put some pressure on it, right?
Yeah, wait, what's the Becton tweet?
During the game, he said free Mims during the game, just about.
No way.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, my God. I didn't even see that. It slid right by. That's fucking crazy.
ZZ Gable, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. He says, trying to not be reactionary, but here's my concern. Zach Wilson's issues look coachable. Footwork, play action, etc. Do we have the offensive staff to fix him before it goes too far? Are we relying on John Beck? I think we might be. I'll be honest. I think this year, if he feels comfortable with John Beck as his quarterback coach, his personal quarterback coach, who he's working with during the bye week, I do question if there's been any thought to try and bring in Beck to help him throughout the season. I don't know if that's possible or not. Maybe Beck just makes way too much because he's got way too many quarterbacks to help. But I think we just need to see better play. I've heard a lot of people say his footwork has kind of gotten wonky. And initially I had said it was because of the offensive line and their lack of time they gave Wilson. Because it was like at one point, 1.7 seconds from snap to like pressure or hit or whatever. And which is like absurd. That's like way too fast. But the offensive line has not been the issue the last 2 weeks. So watching Zach, maybe he's going to have to go back, look at the tape and realize just how much time he had and that he can step up in the pocket and then he can look for these checkdowns. He doesn't have to make the 25-yard throw downfield. Matt, I'll throw it to you first. Do you think do you think Gable is being a little reactionary with the Zach Wilson issues? Do you think it is coachable? Are we relying on John Beck too much?
I agree that I think it's coachable. And to me, that's not a concern. That almost makes me happy because I would rather him almost have these issues. To me, like, are you able to teach someone to make the throws that he's making against Tennessee? Or are you going to be able to teach someone to throw a screen pass with the proper mechanics? Like, I feel like you're much more likely to say like, hey, like we're going to rein you in a little bit over the next 2 weeks and it's going to be okay. Because we saw what he did in the preseason, man. He was putting up good numbers and looked really comfortable. And I just think he's, gripping it a little bit too hard and trying to, do too much. He's playing a little bit too much hero ball and he's in his head. So I think he's going to be fine. I'm not worried at all.
Green Bean, what about you? You think there's any issues with Zach Wilson's footwork and how are we going to work it out?
Well, I think Matt's point is excellent. Like that's such a good way to say it. Like, where would you rather the concern be? That he's kind of, identifying how far to throw it to a screen, or that his deep ball is just atrocious. He throws picks all day. So I think, look, we've seen him do that. We've seen him do that in college. We even saw it, like Matt said, in the preseason. Like throwing a screen pass is well within his wheelhouse. There's something, he's a little off. And I think it is, boiled down to him thinking too much. Like he's overthinking how to do this. And again, I think that's one of the problems. And I'm hoping that our coaching staff kind of corrects that sooner rather than later. But again, we're talking about a bunch of guys that are all in their job for the first time. LaFleur, Saleh, Ulbricht, Calabrese, like all these guys. This is their first time doing it. I'm very grateful 𝐿𝐵𝐼's there because he's been a quarterback coach and offensive coordinator in the league for many years, so he can fix this. But I'm happy that he's going back to his quarterback coach just to kind of settle things down. It's been a whirlwind 2-3 months for him. And, we know that it's not easy for a rookie, especially playing in a market like this with so many new things going on. We got to remember the whole team is new. So Zach Wilson isn't the new piece on a vet team. He's the centerpiece on a rookie team. So I think there's a little bit more to it than just he's a rookie quarterback. Everything's crazy. And I think it's good that he's going to John Beck, but yeah, our coaches have some learning to do. I think that's one of the aggravating things of watching this, but it just is what it is. I don't think that they're devoid of talent or that it's unfixable. And I'm really grateful that the problems are what they are right now.
So let me see where I see this. Bam. Daryl says, I prefer the veteran quarterback to replace Wilson in 4 interception games more than I care about him mentoring him. Sometimes you need to see the game from the sideline to get a different perspective. I don't know where I'm at on this. I think if Wilson was letting the interceptions get to him, maybe I would agree. I think it seems like he kind of shrugs it off and realizes like, I shouldn't have made that throw, or I shouldn't have done that. I think if he was kind of hanging his head, maybe I'd agree. I prefer the mentoring role and the, hey, let's talk about it on the sideline more than I care about pulling him out of a game when he's not performing well. Because I do think we should give him the Peyton Manning approach and just let him do everything. Make his mistakes, just iron out everything, throw a zillion interceptions. I don't care. Get it out of your system now and figure out what you can and can't do in the NFL. Green Bean, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, that's a good point too. Like, there's a lot of people crying for, and I don't mean crying, I mean just like talking, really. Like there's an outcry for people. Like when he's having a game like that, a lot of people think he should be benched. It's clearly not his game. and sometimes it's good to sit down. And I really don't agree with that. I think it's very important for him to work through this. I think it's much more beneficial to take these lumps rather than be, kind of protected from any potential negatives. Like, it's important to get through this. Now, the only negative I see with that is if he can continue to get walloped by the defense. That's a different story. Like getting his ass kicked like those first 3 games, that's bad. But the offensive line is settling down, and I think it's really beneficial for a rookie quarterback to have his rookie year. And I think pulling him for a vet quarterback, even if it's just for the fourth quarter to try to stay in the game, I think that's a really bad move. It could cause a lot more emotional stuff and intellectual stuff than it's worth by winning the game or whatever. I think it's good that he stays in there and works through all this stuff.
Matt, what about you? How do you feel about the vet quarterback?
Yeah, I don't know how much good it would do to have, like, I don't know, Josh McCown come in and play like 2 games and have him sit. Like, is that really going to do much? Or would, like, going to the sideline and having someone to talk to like that? I see the benefit of that more than I see, oh, I'm going to sit here and watch, my 40-year-old backup quarterback play with all the other rookies. I don't see that side of it. I'm with Green Bean on this one. I think I'd rather him just, get everything out of his system now and continue to play and develop. I think you're just wasting time if you're throwing a veteran out there. Like, we were all critical of Chicago for running Andy Dalton out there. Like, same concept applies.
Yeah, that's a good point, because now, Fields has taken his lumps. And I think, the ability to kind of pick a vet's brain, and I think we've talked about this before in the past, where it's almost like going to your offensive coordinator is almost like going to your boss at work. Like, you'd rather talk to a coworker, try to figure it out. And having that sort of dynamic, even if it's like a passing game coordinator, maybe that feels like a little more of a on the same level than maybe an offensive coordinator or head coach, is to a young quarterback. Joe drops in with a comment, says, Wilson never felt adversity. He came from a quarterback winter wonderland. Half of his interceptions are completions at BYU. Now he is rushing his throws. Relax. Yeah, look, that's definitely part of it. I think the speed of the game is absolutely something that Wilson is going to have to adapt to. And look, it's something that Josh Allen had to adapt to as well. I mean, there were times he was able to rip a ball and get it into a window at Wyoming that he was unable to do in the pros. And you saw it took him 3 years before he was considered a good quarterback. He had 2 really not great years, and all of us sat here and said, oh no, he's not going to be a good quarterback, not going to be better than Sam Darnold. And now, 2 years removed from that conversation, he's, getting a massive contract and is arguably a top 5 quarterback in this league and in the MVP conversation. So Matt, I'll ask you this. How much of this is good for Wilson because he hadn't faced adversity at BYU?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to happen. And I think that's, more often than not, you get that as a rookie. You figure out what you can and can't do, like the practices in training camp. Remember when he was making the mistakes and he was saying, okay, I'm trying to see, what I can and can't do. And I know that, it's translating to games a little bit, but I just don't think he's going to be throwing, more than an interception per game pace, every single game this year. Like, I think at some point he's going to settle in and hit his stride. It's just going to take a little bit of time. It's been 20 quarters. It's, it's going to be a little bit of an adjustment. I think Joe's right. I think we need to relax.
Greenby, what about you? How do you feel about the adversity that Zach Wilson is now facing?
Yeah, well, let me say I agree with Matt, and I really like when you put it like it's been 20 quarters of football in his entire career. Even saying it like that, it's like, I mean, this is the infancy of his career, and among that infancy, we're also looking at rookie head coach, rookie offensive coordinator, rookie quarterback coach. So all that stuff too. This is an offense playing together for the first time. The offensive line has only been together for 4 weeks. So there's layers to that. That said, I do think that his lack of pressure, of adversity at BYU, definitely has a part in the culture shock of adversity. I don't think it's something that's insurmountable, but it's definitely there. I mean, his situation is remarkably different right now, especially those first 3 weeks. He got sacked 15 times in 3 games, man. That's unheard of. And then his receivers are dropping passes, all that kind of stuff. So how he deals with that is going to be a brand new thing because he's never dealt with it before. When you think about dealing with anything for the first time, you're going to look back once you have experience and go, oh yeah, I should have did this or that, but he's in it right now. So again, I'm not happy, and it's definitely not an excuse for anything. At the same time, I also think jumping the gun and kind of calling him a bust or even that he can't get through this or anything, I think that's way premature as well. There are realistic reasons why we're looking at what we're looking at, whether I like it or not.
Guys, 7 Levels and Joe S have both been qualified for our t-shirt giveaway at the end of the stream. For every 25 likes we get on this video, we're going to pick another qualifier. And you know what? We're going to take a brief commercial break, and we will pick a qualifier after that break as well. So we will be right back. Want to get an advantage over your sportsbook? You need to download BetQL, the only app you'll need to make smart bets. Their Best Bets computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports and gives you the reasoning behind why you should place the bet. Their model covers everything from spreads, over-unders, and player prop bets. Don't want to use the model and prefer to do your own research? BetQL has all the necessary tools for your research needs. There's sharp data so you can see who the pros are backing, line movement so you can jump on betting opportunities in real time, team summaries highlighting previous success against the spread and over-under, and team lineup breaking news and injury status updates. Plus, you can save all your picks in one place to track your success and winning streaks as well as view your rank on their leaderboards. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store now to download BetQL. You can also head to try.betql.co/JetsTalk to get started now. Enter discount code JetsTalk at payment checkout for 25% off any of their subscription offerings. You can find all this information in the description of this video. Make sure to check out their BetMGM offer in the description in order to receive a free year of BetQL. Also check out their sportsbook offers page if you live in any of the eligible states to claim free offers upon signing up for one of the many sportsbooks listed. Don't miss out on your chance to beat your sportsbook this football season.
Dominating your fantasy league? Prove it.
Shaping up to be a great game between these two teams. There's no telling what might happen.
Enhance the game with 3 easy steps. Predict, compete, and win. Start now and play your first $20 risk-free. Only on WinView.
All right, we are back, and Nightbot is doing its thing. It's picking someone in the chat, and we actually get to pick 2 more. TJ Decker, you have been qualified, and we have eclipsed the 25 like threshold, so we'll pick another one. Let's see who Nightbot throws at us. Bum 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 bum. Thomas Cahill. You've been qualified to win a shirt at the end of the stream. So congratulations. All right. So I wanted to get some of your thoughts on the defense now, because we talked a lot about the offense and Zach Wilson and everything going on with Coach LaFleur and everything. So let's talk a little bit about the defense. Overall, I was pretty pleased. And it was a weird conversation that I feel like I keep winding up having to have each week, because like we give up a ton of yards to Derrick Henry, and then we give up, a ton of yards to Kyle Pitts. But by and large, I'm actually pretty happy with the players on the defensive side of the ball, because I really did not expect a whole heck of a lot, especially in the secondary. And I felt the secondary, aside from the safeties, has really played well. I apologize. There is a super chat that I did not get to. We're going to pull that up first before I move on to the next thing. I apologize. Camel Shaheen. God, man, I got to get better at this. Matt, can you read that name for me?
I'm going to say Kamal Shaheen.
Shaheen. Oh, man, that makes way more sense.
I think.
Sorry about that. He says, I've been hearing May would welcome a trade to a contending team, but I don't know how much value Jets can get now that May got some legal problems. I don't think May's value changes all that much from where it was when we first franchise tagged him, because he already has eaten part of that contract because we're 5 weeks into the season. So for me, if I'm looking at a team, the hands down, the team that I'm looking at is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I'm looking at OJ Howard. For me, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, I think it was probably before the stream. We were just kind of bouncing ideas off each other. But I would prefer taking Marcus May and taking on OJ Howard. Maybe you sign him to a 1-year extension because he's in the last year of his deal right now. Maybe you sign him to an extension with a trade. And I would prefer that over, say, like another 3rd-round pick, say, because that 3rd-round pick from the Bucs is going to potentially be like the 32nd pick in the 3rd round anyway. And I think the upside of OJ Howard provides more value to this team now with Zach Wilson in his rookie year, needing a tight end, even though OJ Howard has not really showed the 1st-round pick, pickness, I guess, of him. He hasn't lived up to that 1st-round hype because they have Cameron Brate, because they have Gronkowski down there. And then you have the 3 wide receivers in Godwin, Evans, and Brown, who are all ahead of him as well. So he's kind of stacked down on the depth chart. So I would prefer that if we were to make a trade. Greenbean, what about you? What do you think about a May trade to a contending team? And is there any teams that you can kind of think of that you would be looking at?
Well, I mean, the rumored ones were the Rams and the Bucks, right? They're both good because, not that May's that big of a concern, but it's nice to just get a disgruntled player that probably has motivation to play really hard against you. It's nice to get those guys the hell out of here, although we do play the Bucks this year. But I think that his value could have been as high as a 2nd, depending on the need for the team. I like what you're saying about OJ Howard. At the same time, I might be inclined to take a pick, like a 3rd-round pick instead. I get it too, because like this, a player for player like OJ Howard benefits Zach now, and you can have him moving forward as well. So, is he worth a 3rd-round pick, let's say? And I would say, yeah, I think that's a good move because our tight ends are kind of iffy right now, especially the fact that we have him out there playing the X and, lining up out wide and all that fun stuff. But so I don't know, but I think that we'll probably end up getting a 3rd-round pick for him, or maybe even like a 2nd, and we give May and a 4th, or a 5th, something like that. But yeah, and I think that I think it's a really good shot to happen. I'd like to see it happen too, quite frankly. I don't like this energy around. I don't like it. So yeah, anyway, that's what I think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I definitely, if it came down to holding on to May or trading him for basically whatever you could get, I'm going to trade him for whatever I can get at this point. There's no benefit to having May long-term on this team. I really shouldn't even say long-term because he's not being re-signed after the season anyway. I think that bridge has burnt down, and the Jets are not looking to go further, especially since he hid this from them anyway. Matt, what about you? What do you think about May welcoming a trade to a contending team?
Yeah, I'm good with trading Marcus May. I really think he's played his last game as a Jet. I think you're looking at a 3rd-round pick in return for him. I'm not really a big OJ Howard guy, so I would be disappointed in that return. I think Marcus May is a significantly better player. So just value-wise, I would rather take the higher-end draft pick because I think if Tampa was trading Howard just to another team for a pick, not a player, I don't think they're getting a 3rd-rounder for him.
That's fair. What about, say, like someone like a Michael Gallup from Dallas? Like, do we need another receiver? Or are we just stacking our receiver where we're just pushing Mims further down? Or do you think, like, because I know a lot of people I've heard, like, Corey Davis is not a number 1. Is that something we'd look into?
Oh, Michael Gallup's not a number 1 either. So you just have like a bunch.
See, that's the like a bunch of number 2s.
Yeah. The Jets,
even, right? Like
they would have like 4 or 5 number 2 or 3 receivers at that point. So I would just rather, honestly, I'd rather a draft pick at this point.
Yeah, I think I would too. Now, Matt, do you, and Ryan too, but would you take OJ Howard and a 6th or something like that for Marcus May? OJ Howard and a 5th?
That'd be fine. I mean, look, I feel like if Chris Herndon can net you a 4th-round pick, I feel like OJ Howard can net you, at least that. That's kind of where I'm at on that. Side note, by the way, The fact that the Jets stole a 4th-round pick from the Vikings and Chris Herndon has 2 targets, 1 drop, no catches is nothing short of amazing.
Yeah, it's the best.
Richard Delgado dropped in with a super chat. And you know what? I'm going to throw TJ Decker's up real quick. I'm going to talk about Richard Delgado's because these chat things keep moving forward and I can't go through it. So Richard Delgado's super chat, thank you, brother, says, I have an idea on how to keep the Jets be the Jets 1. How to keep the Jets be the Jets 1. Get a quarterback in the 2nd round that doesn't work. 2, get a defensive lineman on defensive only.
Wait.
Get a defensive. Sorry, it's not the one that I'm reading. I wanted to throw
okay.
I was going to lose the other one. So yeah, Richard Delgado, he has one that says, I have an idea of how to keep the Jets be the Jets. 1, how to make the Jets continue to stink, I think is what he's getting. He says, get a quarterback in the 2nd round that doesn't work out. 2, get a defensive line, go defensive line only. And then 3, get a suspect head coach. Man, that took me a lot of brain power.
Yeah.
Richard. I apologize.
It sounds familiar though, doesn't it?
Dude, just things. I'm trying to use all my brain power to outsmart the defense or the offense, and I'm going to wind up putting John Franklin Myers on a tight end. Sorry. TJ Decker drops in with a super chat and says, do you guys anticipate Salah rallying the troops and really trying to figure out the offensive woes with LaFleur? It's a young and inexperienced team, but there is plenty of potential to put up points. Look, there's plenty of positive things that we've seen from this team overall. I think the wide receivers, Corey Davis, looks like he's legit. I think Crowder looks better than I was really necessarily thinking he was going to look this year. Keelan Cole even looks all right. We're frustrated because of the whole Mims thing. I like the running backs. I like the offensive line. Like everything seems like it's starting to figure it out. Like they're starting to figure it out. I think an interesting conversation is going to be what happens when Becton starts to get healthy and Fant continues to play as good as he's been playing at left tackle. Because then you might have to have a serious conversation of like, hey, do we kick Becton back over to right tackle? Because he did play right tackle a little bit in his time at Louisville. Or do you potentially sacrifice the gelling of the offensive line and move Fant back over or take him to the bench? Or do you wind up, maybe saying, oh, Becton needs a little bit more time to heal, and we're going to kind of wait and sort of punt on the question at this point in time. So, Matt, I guess I'll throw it to you. Do you see Salah rallying the troops and helping out, try to figure out these offensive woes?
Yeah, I mean, I think they will. It's a developmental process here, and there has been some bright spots, as you mentioned. The offensive line's played a lot better. I don't think you move Mekhi Becton's position, especially for a 29-year-old who probably isn't going to be here next year. I love how well that Fant is playing, but I'm not moving Becton's position, who you hope is your franchise left tackle, just because his replacement's been playing well. It's a good problem to have, but I would just use him as insurance at that point. But yeah, I mean, LaFleur has a lot of work to do in the second half of the season, but I don't think the jury's written on him just yet.
Green Bean, what about you? How do you feel about Salah rallying the troops and trying to figure out this offense with LaFleur?
Well, I think he better. I mean, that's kind of what we're hoping that he does, right? We don't want him to, set up shop in the defensive meetings all day, every day. So, I mean, look, I think like we talked about, they do have a relationship. I'm sure there's a lot of trust being given. We have to remember that, like we said, like Greg Knapp passed away, there's a new dynamic in there. So they're all figuring it out. And Salah doesn't come from offense. So there'll be that little learning curve too. But I think absolutely, man, our main problem right now is our offense. So I think Salah's resources, his mind space should tilt toward the offense right now. And I think that that's exactly what they're going to do. Now, the only question would be how effective they're going to be by a timeline that we're hoping. It might be that they're not even hitting their stride till the end of the year and like next year. I mean, that's very realistic. But my hope is that that won't happen and we start to see some significant progress, maybe a touchdown in the first quarter kind of a thing, something like that. But I think Salah's job and the expectations are that he should try to help LaFleur and that crew identify what the issue is and to find some solutions.
Joe S. drops in with the super chat, says, are you surprised with the lack of emotion from head coach? No, I think a composed head coach is the way to be right now. I don't think showing an overabundance of emotion, we saw it with Rex Ryan, it starts to wear thin on players. And I think having the composed nature about your press conferences, that doesn't mean he's not yelling in his closed door meetings or, in camp. I think that I think he understands this is a young team. He knows there's going to be some hiccups, and just berating a young player or a young, coach or something like that isn't necessarily the right way to go about it. So, Matt, I'll ask you, are you surprised with the lack of emotion from the head coach?
I don't really agree with Joe here. I think the emotion. Oh, okay. I don't really agree with Joe here. I think the emotion's been right where it's been, or where I anticipated it to be. I think at times he was fired up especially at the referees or when something doesn't go the Jets' way. And I think he has like the players back. So that's how I take it as, like, he's someone who's like going to show emotion in terms of having the players back, at least on the field that we're able to see. That's someone who's going to be like, I don't know, ripping into a guy who missed a tackle or something. Like, that's just not his personality. So I wasn't expecting that. Maybe Joe's expectations were a little bit different for me, but it's been pretty much on par with what I thought it was going to look like.
Greenby, what about you? Are you surprised at the lack of emotion from the head coach?
No, I was actually going to say something similar to what Matt said. I'm like, I actually think he's showing quite a bit of emotion. Hold on. You're hitting something. Sorry. I think if you were expecting him to like need the get back coach all game, then I can see what you're saying. But a head coach really shouldn't be that. He needs to be composed. He needs to be able to think. And I think I've seen Saleh quite a few times screaming at the refs, like Matt just said, or, out there, high-fiving all the guys when they come back. Like, there's a lot more emotion than we're used to seeing. And I think Saleh's going to take some time to really understand and learn who he is as a head coach. He's never done this before. So the old defensive coordinator, it's not the same. You can't just be that guy. He has to think about the entire game plan and the clock management and all those kinds of things. So, but I think that he's still figuring that out to a large degree. But at the same time, I would say that I've seen a lot of emotion from him, much more than we're used to, especially the last 6 years.
Yeah, I got to admit, I am happy seeing the emotion on the sidelines and seeing him get fired up, because I think when someone like thinks they didn't commit a penalty and Saleh's like in the ref's ear, then it's at least like, okay, my coach has my back. And I feel like you, as a player, you always want to see that. It also kind of goes back to the whole, like, Saleh wants to see his guys make money because that means they're doing a good job and they're doing the right thing. And I think players want to hear that sort of stuff as well. Mr. 𝐚𝐿𝐴. God, I'm going to screw that up every time. Thank you again for the super chat. And I'm sorry, I'm just butchering your name each time I do this. He says, Matt, you are good. It is Kamal Shaheen. See, he even pronounced it in the super chat. Dude, I'm sorry. I got to read these before I start putting them up on the screen. See, what's going to happen is I'm going to be like Ron Burgundy, and you're going to put something crazy up on there. I'm just going to start rambling it off. And I'm going to be like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. So, Matt, you are right on the pronunciation. He goes, I think ITHGT. I thought Joe Douglas was bean counting, but I love the moves, love the staff and direction, looking for Jets to play better out of the bye, want to see this offense fly. Oh, you are a poet, and I don't know if you knew it.
Oh, so close.
I know. I was going to see. Did that get you on the edge? You're like, oh, he's got it. And then, no, sorry.
That was such a tease.
Oh, I know. I'm just kind of that kind of guy. No, you know what? I do like where Joe Douglas is going. I know a lot of people were putting Joey D on the hot seat for his 2020 draft, and I can't tell you how many people I've battled with in the comment sections about having some faith in Joe Douglas. Look at what he's moving in. And they're like, oh, he can't evaluate talent because of his 2020 draft class. I was like, well, hold on. Becton is good. He's just not healthy. So the talent is there. He didn't have injury issues before this. Mims, I would argue he's good, but maybe he's for a different scheme that was here last year. I can possibly get on board with that, but I do like the talent that I see on the field when Mims is on the field. Ashton Davis, kind of an incomplete for me because he hasn't really been healthy enough, but I have liked bits and pieces from what I've seen. Zuniga, bust. Fine with that. Morgan, different scheme fit, doesn't belong here. Isn't here. I think Cameron Clark is, a bust just because we haven't been able to see anything from him whatsoever. Then you have, who am I missing in the fourth round? Pirine, I feel like was more of a scheme fit last year, and he's kind of a square peg in a round hole with this new offense. You want speed, and Pirine just is not that type of back. And then with Braden Mann and Bryce Hall, you got 2 hits there. And then when you're talking about evaluating talent, when I bring up, John Franklin Myers was off waivers, Quincy Williams was off waivers, and they're like, oh, no, that doesn't count. Well, it's like, hold on, wait a second. He's evaluating talent, and he picked it up. Like, that counts just as much. Bryce Huff as an undrafted free agent.
I was going to say, what about Bryce Huff? Does he count?
Oh, man. Yeah, dude, it drives me up a friggin' wall.
And even Guidry, who's looked pretty good. And also Lamar Jackson, who's still on our practice squad. Look, anybody saying that guys are great or suck right now in that 2020 draft class is doing it prematurely. We already know this. You can't argue with some people about it. Like, you can say all this stuff and they go, nope, he sucks. That's fine. You're going to think what you think. But the truth is, it takes about 3 years to properly get a picture on what a draft class looks like. We already know that some guys are studs. And even guys like you say, like, I understand why people think Zuniga's a bust. I get it. But the truth is, we haven't seen him for more than a handful of plays playing outside linebacker when he's in the a hand in the dirt defensive end. Now, it sucks. Like Cam Clark, Zuniga, Davis, they've been injured a lot, but the only one who had any injury concerns coming in was Zuniga. So, like, it's just one of those things that has happened. But saying that draft class sucks is really way off for me. And I understand with Pirine and Zuniga, but I still have a lot of faith in those guys. Not that they'll, be some, all-pro or anything like that, but I do think that they're good football players and that the picks were sound, even if they were for a different regime, which is also something that we have to factor in. I think people are really jumping the gun on that one.
Matt, what about you? How do you feel about the decisions Joey Douglas has made so far?
I agree with a lot more than I disagree with. I haven't been in full lockstep with him, which is fine. I think it's not good to be 100% in line with one person one way or 100% against a person. I think it's good to be critical, but in terms of most of his roster moves, I've enjoyed. I think he's done a good job, and I do believe in the direction of this team. I like the 2021 draft class. Hell, I'm not even ready to give up on the 2020 draft class. Like Greenbean was saying, we still need a little bit more time here. And I think people, forget just how good Becton was last year and how productive Mims was last year on one of the worst offenses in the NFL that we've, ever seen. So, I'm not ready to give up on it. I think too many people are quick to put that draft class aside, but I think it's better than people give it credit for.
Yeah, and then look at this year's draft class. Almost the entire draft class is starting for us. And quite frankly, they don't look terrible, man. They look good in most cases, except for Zach.
Look, I'll say this. There's certain things about Joe Douglas that I can nitpick on. Like, a lot of us felt we should have brought back Robbie Anderson. That was probably, the most glaring of his issues. Bringing in a veteran quarterback, hindsight, probably should have been done. You could argue maybe some of the late round picks, maybe not taking someone like a Trey Smith or something like that. But I think you start nitpicking a little too much when you start going that way. Shaheen drops in with another super chat. I got it right.
Attaboy.
I did it. It only took 4 super chats. Jeez. Random. Miss Parcells and wish our uniforms were designed better. I hate to see a uniform with a stupid line going across the chest. I'm not a huge fan of the new jersey. I really am.
Those are wings, guys.
Dude, I get it. Wings. I understand. But it's one of those things that, like, the Jets are, you're modeled after what I would interpret as an F-16 fighter jet. Why don't you have a gray color scheme? Like, that would have made more sense to me. I don't love the green. I think the green is a little hard on the eyes. Maybe the green looks better when you start winning. I love our white jerseys. I enjoy the black jerseys. But like the stripe thing, I like the redesign that a lot of people have put on Twitter. And I know, Matt, you've mentioned it a few times, and I've seen Sack Exchange retweeted at Woody Johnson a bunch of times. You could give me the old logo, and I don't even mind that logo. I actually really enjoy that logo. I have no problem with it. It's just kind of like, that's the logo I love. That is my favorite of all the Jet logos. I got 2 glasses from one of my good buddies the other day that have the old Jet logo on it. I was like, oh, dude, you know me too well. So, Matt, let me throw it to you first. How do you feel about the jerseys overall now that we're about 2.5 years into this whole jersey?
I don't hate them as much as everyone else does. I think they're fine. I do think they're an improvement. I think the other ones got a little stale. The one thing that I have said and will remain consistent on is I hate the green pants. The white on the green is not good, and the green on the green is the worst combination by far. But the green with the white pants and the white with the white and the all black, I like. And I like the helmets. I think having them a little like shiny like that, they've
like
grown
the
on
shine.
me. I'm really, and the Gotham green, I'm going to disagree with you on. I like that shade of green. So I think I like them more than most.
Okay. Green Bean, what about you? What do you think about the jerseys?
I don't feel that strongly about them as a lot of people do. I'm kind of with Matt. I think I like them more than a lot of other people do. That said, I don't love the swoosh shoulder thing that, the wings that we were just talking about. I really don't dig that all that much. It seems like it's trying to be something, and I don't think it hits whatever mark it's trying to get to. That said, I love the Gotham green, and I have no problems with the Jets being green, predominantly. I'm into it. I love the green. Green's my favorite color. The Jets are green. I'm in. But I like the black, and I don't hate the helmet. That said, my favorite is the helmet that we had just before the change. That's the uniform, all white. With those white helmets. I love those white helmets, man. I think it's classic. I think it's, it's just really the best for me. But one thing I will say is we always lose with green pants at home. So I don't know when the hell they're going to stop doing that. It's been since the 80s that's been the case. I wish we would just stop already.
I would say I like the helmet the most of the entire uniform. I really like the shiny green. I like the logo. I would love to see like the old logo, but it's neither here nor there. I saw a cool comment in the chat from 𝐚𝐿. He says Hall Island with the little island emojis. I like Hall Island, but I like Hall Pass.
That's good.
Right? Right? That's a good one. People are taking a pass. They don't want to throw toward Bryce Hall. That's my thing. All right. Patrick Dunn drops in with a super cat. Thank you, Patrick. He says, if JD doesn't draft Linderbaum, we riot. I think pretty much everyone in this chat right now is on board with the Iowa center being one of our first round picks. I don't care where they take him. I think if the Jets wind up with a top 5 pick, I would trade down, and then I would consider taking him in the teens, depending on where he falls power ranking wise. I saw him as high as 15. I've seen him as low as 28. So it's really, I don't have any sort of dialed in nature. If you could give me an ideal situation of where I'd want to take him, I would say right where we took Mangold, that 26 to 28 to 30 pick, somewhere in that realm is kind of the sweet spot for me for center. Matt, where do you think Linderbaum, where's the sweet spot for him? Because I know you like him as well.
Yeah, in my mock draft today, I took him with the Seattle pick, which was 16 right now. And with Geno Smith starting, that could possibly go higher. And if it goes to 10, I would take him at 10. I think he's that good. I like him a lot.
Ooh, the Hall Monitor. That's an interesting name. Sorry.
Ooh. Yeah, I like that. Hall Monitor.
What do you think about Linderbaum?
Well, look, I like Linderbaum a lot, but in complete transparency, I haven't been able to really focus on college football. So anything I say is at this point is kind of hearsay. You know what I mean? So, but I think that we should draft a center. I would really like that. And even if we kept Connor McGovern and pushed him to guard or something like that, that's all potential. But I think center is a priority, and it's about time that we do that. That said, I don't know where he's going to go, but I'm totally fine with another first-round offensive lineman, man. That does not bother me in the slightest. That all said, I am really hoping for a Geno Smith complete implosion.
Yes.
I'm loving a top 10 pick, right, man? Finally, somebody can suffer from what, I mean, they're already suffering with Jamal Adams, and we don't know the whole season what it's gonna look like, but it looks to me like my man got paid, and that's about it. That's what it looks like. No, I don't know. But it would be real nice for that Seattle pick to end up being like a real premium pick, and then be able to trade back with one and continue this multiple first thing into 2022 and beyond. That would be really exciting for me. But yeah, I think we should take a center. Again, I don't know where he's going to go. I'm with O'Leary in his draft. He said 16, so that sounds good to me.
Yeah, if you're telling me we could lock in another stud offensive lineman early in the draft, I'm all about it. I've seen people say we should take right tackle and center early in this draft, which – oh, really? That was you? I'll be honest. I have not watched your
someone
podcast
is right
yet.
next to you.
But I have heard people say this for quite some time. And hey, you know what? Based on depending on how free agency shakes up, and you think you could get maybe an edge rusher out there, because I would like to add another edge, because I don't trust Lawson to come back as explosive as he was. I think it's probably important to address that at some point as well. Dimitri drops in with a super chat. I'm definitely not saying that last name. Matt, can you give me some help?
I'm going to say
Cyrulnikov.
That's probably pretty close.
That's exactly where I was going to go with that. Okay, that makes me feel good.
Yeah, we're good.
Dimitri?
We got it.
Mr. T. So what are the odds Jets reevaluate offensive personnel and decide to use Mims more? Jokes aside, what are the rumors about why Mims is being frozen out? The rumors on Mims is that he's just stuck behind a lot of receivers that had more playing time than him in training camp, because he had the food poisoning that he got early in, I want to say it was June. And he just missed a lot of time. So coming into training camp, he wound up being behind the 8 ball there and trying to get reps when reps are at a premium. Like, you're only allowed to practice so much, I think is probably an issue. And maybe he's just not a student of the game the way, maybe some other players are. But overall, I would like to see them come out of the bye and say, hey, look, let's get our best players on the field. Let's figure it out. Let's grow with this, because clearly Mims has some attributes that we should be taking advantage of, and the Jets offense just needs a spark. And I feel like Mims could generate that type of spark. Matt, what do you feel about Mims?
Frustrated mostly, but I would say that you pretty much hit it on the head with why he's not playing. I don't agree with that logic, but that's where they're at. I would very much so like for them to evaluate where the targets are going through the first 5 games of the year and the percentage of snaps being played, and really take a long look in the mirror and ask yourself if you want Ryan Griffin playing 90% of snaps in a game ever again. And try to get guys like Denzel Mims, Elijah Moore, Keelan Cole, even more Crowder involved. I think that would be key.
I don't want to. Yeah, I'm watching Green Bean. I'm looking at the chat. Did Green Bean just spill coffee on his laptop?
Energy drink, like a good 2 glugs, like glug across my keyboard. So I'm like panicked.
Sticky keys. Yeah, Green Bean. That's why the keys are sticking. Sure.
Oh, there we go. Okay,
I get it. Oh, now we know exactly what he's doing down there. Sticky keys, keeping his webcam off.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry. I was listening to the beginning of what Matt said, then I completely panicked.
That's all right. We're talking about Denzel Mims. And do you think the Jets reevaluate the offensive personnel coming out of the bye?
Was Matt done?
Yes. Yeah. Please go ahead, Green Bean.
So here's what I think now. Like I said, we have the information that we have on why Mims hasn't played. I don't like it. I don't necessarily even buy it, but I'm very impressed with how Mims has handled it. Like, there are reports that he's disgruntled and asking for a trade. And when he spoke to the press, it didn't sound anything like that, man. He's a team player. He said, hey, this is where I am. Of course, I'm frustrated. I want to play, but I'm only worried about next week's game and what I can do. And I think that's fantastic. I was very impressed with that. I think it was sincere. But at this point, Mims came in, he on a couple running plays, very effective blocking, very effective, took his guy out of the play on more than one occasion. And then when he came in and was targeted, he made things happen. He knows how to get open. He's got great hands, and he got a nice little chunk of yak on top of it. So I think at this point, if Denzel Mims is not playing, they are choosing to ignore. Now we have some proof. Game 1, 40 yards. The other game, he had something, so anyway, this week he had a nice little chunk of something, and he's a great blocker, and that's something that we need. So I think at this point in the bye, I think this is when we see Denzel Mims possibly be more consistently active. And if he's active, I think we're going to see him used more. They might feather him in slowly just to kind of prove their point with whatever the hell that is. But I think at this point, if they don't play him, they're actively ignoring what we're seeing on the field, because he's more impactful than any receiver we have.
Emanon says spill bean.
Hey, spill the bean.
Can we talk about, it reminded me because he talked about Mims with the media. Can we talk about Green Bean putting Samini in a body bag? Because that was my favorite thing.
Oh, I have the screenshot. Oh, no, the screenshot's up there. I got it. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. That's funny. Because I tagged him.
Yeah.
Wasn't that good? That was
would you
funny.
call him pond scum or something?
Oh, dude. So
I don't even remember what I said.
I got it. I had, but I tagged him. So I was looking at it and I giggled. So real quick, Adam Gase dropped in with a super chat, a $2 super chat, and says, "Miss me yet?" I couldn't put it back up on the screen, and no, I do not miss you, Adam Gase.
Not one bit, buddy.
No, you can go somewhere else. So
I bet that's really him.
Tweet from, I believe, is it the Jets? They're talking about, I guess it was a question that Samini asked during a press conference. And Green Bean goes, "Fuck yeah, Rich Samini is the worst. A total slime ball, coaxing trouble out of men." And amazing. Let's see if the camera can the camera go on? Let's see. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the.
Wait, you're frozen.
Samini replies.
Ryan, you're frozen though. We can't see you.
Frozen? What the heck? I can see me on my side. Let's try this. Did it go? Can you see me?
No, now we can't see you at all, bud.
Really?
I can't anyway. Maybe it's just me.
No, I'm looking at the thing. Hold on. Maybe do I really need to have this other friggin' webcam open? That's infuriating. I'm frozen, but I'm moving around. What the heck? That's just silly. Okay, let me see if I can. No, now I'm not moving around at all. Now I'm like frozen. I'm like,
yeah. And it sucks. I want everybody to see my tweet.
Oh, I want people to see it. Okay.
It was very good.
And they find it if they go over to. Let me see if I could pull it up on the internet.
I'm trying to scroll back right now and see if I can find it.
Let's see. So Green Bean's tweet was from. Oh, damn it! It just says 1 hour ago. It was October 7th. All right. Here we go.
Oh boy, I'm looking. I'm trying to dig.
We'll look for it. Although he was commenting at a tweet, so now I'm not sure what he could have been. Do you remember who you were talking to? Was it like a Samini tweet or was it like a Jet tweet?
Yeah, it was somebody. Yeah, I think it might have been like an official, like ESPN or Jets or something like that. Maybe. I think I was the first response too, which is why it was like right up there.
Making this harder on ourselves than we have to be. Let's search his name and Samini's at the same time.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, man, that would make a ton of sense, my friend. October 11th. I'm just going to scroll down. I'm going to find it. This is going to happen. The 10th. Creamy, you send a lot of tweets. Man, I'm off my Twitter game.
Yeah, he's turned it up, man. I love your Twitter game, Green Bean. You keep me entertained on there.
Yeah. I'm always looking at you, buddy. You know?
All right.
I'm always watching you.
Man, I'm still only on the
Maybe
8th.
we have a better shot of going back through Rich Samini's tweets and seeing if I can find his response.
Seriously. Jeez. Oh, I found it.
Nice.
Oh, it was Paul Andrew Esden Jr.
Oh, Paul Esden, right? Boy Green.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me pull it up now because now I have it.
But now you're frozen again.
See, well, I can pull it up without me.
Oh, right. Screen share. There you go.
Screen share. Oh, see, way to go, Matt. I get all excited to share this, and now you finally pull it up on your damn phone. Look, bam, right there. Look at that.
Okay, it's beautiful.
Look at it go. Look at it go. Look at all his glory right there.
Yeah. So what I said was F yeah, and then I tagged Cimini is the worst, a total slime ball, coaxing trouble out of men. And he laughed. He responded. He was right on that. So that one got to him fast.
Let's see what Rich can laugh, but he's filling the meta void, and that's not a compliment. Ooh, I like that one. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, and what I say there, I forgot that I replied again.
You said Cimini is the original Manish. I'm old enough to remember his original scumbaggery. Manish's absence just leaves Cimini open to backfill the latrine trough of his witty gems. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was good.
Man, you really went all at him.
I love that he responded.
I do enjoy that.
Yeah.
And
I love it.
I will say I am definitely a little more pro Cimini. I like that Cimini is like the guy we have to worry about now because I'd much rather worry about him than Manish. Like Manish just drove the damn wall.
Dude, Manish was physically stalking. Dude, what the fuck was that? He texted Joe Douglas with his kid. I'm looking at your kid or some shit like
Manish.
that.
Yeah.
What'd I say? Sorry. Manish, right.
He was at a baseball game or something.
That's scary. That's creepy, dude.
Yeah, it's creepy. So
it's not working.
Right, sorry, I'm gonna try and make my camera work again.
Oh, I moved something. I moved the wheel.
All right, so I think let's see. Let me switch my camera to the one in the back real quick. I'm surprised this is not working, and I think it's just because I have this. Oh no! Oh no! Am I doing it again? Now I'm just gonna be frozen. Oh, I did it again. The hell? This is the second week in a row. Okay, you know what? Maybe I can't use the behind the scenes camera anymore. Dang it! I just can't do it. All right. You know what that means. I'm going back to the Oracle orb right now. I'm just a little talking bubble.
I'm taking this opportunity to tinker with my camera too at the same time, so it must look like a complete shit show on the other end.
People are watching stuff, like things are blinking. Matt's looking down at his phone. No one has any idea if he's frozen too. It's just
Matt's tweeting.
We're catching stray bullets on Twitter from the Patriots right now.
Oh yeah, what do you mean?
From their official account. You know, have you guys seen the red flag meme going around?
No, what's that?
No, what's going on with the red flag meme?
So basically, people like saying like, okay, like things that are, like if you were going on a date, like, and someone said this, it's a red flag, and they put like the red flag next to it, but then it kind of blew up, and it's now just like people saying a whole bunch of different things. And the Patriots official account tweeted, "I'm a Jets fan with like 1 million red flags."
Ooh.
So now
I hate Patriots
on Twitter. So I was trying to think of a witty response, but I'm a little stumped at the moment. So that's why I was a little preoccupied.
Yeah.
All right. So let's think up a response.
Let's ask the chat.
Yeah, chat. Give us some good retort to this Patriots red flaggery. You know, maybe we just tag the Patriots with a bunch of little cameras, which is ironic because both Green Bean and I are having camera trouble right now.
That would be ironic. I was thinking like something Robert Kraft related.
Ooh, Robert Kraft, your emails are next.
Yeah.
Could you imagine
I'm the Jets, I'm Robert Kraft, and then do a whole bunch of little Asian emojis or something.
Oh, no.
just not okay. Oh man, dude, you got to think all these guys, owners, are got to be sweating bullets after what happened to between the whole Washington Redskin or Washington football team emails coming out. Now Gruden is no longer, in there. And then all of a sudden you have, he's getting pulled down from the Tampa Bay Ring of Honor. So honestly, look, I think those emails should be public if you take taxpayer money to build your stadium. Now watch how fast those billionaire trust fund babies decide to build their own stadiums. That's what I'd like to see.
It's the craziest thing that they're the ones that make all the profit, and they get the cities to pay for the stadium. Like, look at the Jets and Giants only had to pay half, and they still got the local ordinance, the local legislature or whatever, to pay half. So they only paid a quarter, and they still built a complete sterile turd of a stadium. You know what I mean? They could have. Yeah.
Sorry, 𝐼'𝐥𝐿 dropped in with a super chat. He said, "I never cheat on you, babe. I'm a Patriots fan."
Yeah, I was thinking of just going cheating with the red flag, and maybe like a screen.
I feel like that's a good. There you go. That's a good dating thing. I feel like.
Yeah,
Yeah. Been caught cheating 3. Yeah. How many? Let's put up like 3 or 4 flags and go 1 flag for every time you've officially been caught cheating.
Oh, sorry, that's the same one I popped up. Edward Ziff drops in with a super chat, says, so trade talks with the Rams and Bucks for May. From the Bucks, I'm still on the OJ Howard train. But what if you could get like a Cameron Brate? Like, is there any rhyme or reason as to, the tight end that you could potentially get from him, Matt? I know you were saying you prefer the pick.
I don't know. I'd have to look at Braid a little bit more. I don't know if they'd want to, I don't see them trying to move a piece of their offense that they actually, utilize if they're trying to run it back and win another Super Bowl this year. So I don't see them wanting to give up a roster player.
Yeah. So I guess we're probably in that camp. It's probably the same thing goes for the Rams then too. You're probably looking at a draft pick from a contending team, which just winds up being a later in whatever round pick.
And that could be justification for why it would be a little bit higher of a pick too. They definitely acknowledge that. A 3rd round pick from the Jags is significantly more valuable than a 3rd round pick from the Bucks. It might as well be a round difference. So that kind of stuff will more than likely be discussed. But I'm very curious. It's almost excitement at what Joe Douglas can get for May now that we have the, obviously he wants to get paid. He's a little bit older, but now we have the DUI stuff. So I'm really curious because Joe Douglas has been very, very good in his trades. That's not up for debate. It's indisputable. So I'm really curious, what if he comes home with the 2nd from the Bucks or something like that for Marcus May, who I think would do well down there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, return home to Florida.
Yeah.
Josh Scott says, crying on the sideline after losing to Jameis. Red flag, red flag, red flag. Shaheen says, Samini versus Bart Scoot was classic. Samini got shook.
I don't remember that.
I don't either.
Oh, Bart Scott.
Yeah, I don't remember what they would have gone back and forth on.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
It's not ringing a bell off the top of my head.
Let's see. Nicholas Bruno says eggplant emojis.
Huh.
WA2K says I blocked the Patriots Twitter anyway. Send them Brady pictures in Tampa uniforms. What else we got? Rub and tug.
Oh no.
So what's I'll talk about May real quick again. You know what's interesting about Joe Douglas up to this point? It's as a fan, I have this kind of fantasy with trades of players I don't like that will send them to the abyss, send them to Detroit, send them to the Jags kind of a thing. For years it was send them to the Browns. But Joe Douglas hasn't done that. He has no emotional ego kind of thing attached to it. He has no problem with sending this disgruntled player to a winning organization if he gets his value. He does not care. He doesn't get bound up in any stuff like that. Like me as a fan, I would, like I would go, no, I can't send him to the Bucks. That's rewarding him. But if he gets his value, he doesn't care. I mean, look at all of his trades. Even Herndon to the Vikings. I mean, they were supposed to be a little bit better than they are this year, and they're just not. But Jamal to the Seahawks, Avery Williamson to the 9-0 Steelers, obviously McClendon down to the Super Bowl winning Bucks. Like, he's fine with sending guys to winning organizations as long as he gets what he wants. And I think that's not to be overstated, like how valuable that is. He doesn't get caught in any of that shit, which is nice to see.
Yeah, who cares, right? Whoever gives you the best value for the player, that should be.
I mean, he's traded with the Patriots, right?
Agreed. Yeah, he traded with the Patriots twice.
Yeah.
Demarius and who was the second one?
The draft pick.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, in the draft, right? It's crazy. He traded with the Giants. We haven't traded with the Giants in what was it, 40 years or something like that? Something crazy.
Yeah,
if we ever
crazy.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll trade with the Giants. What do you want? Yeah, I'll trade.
So Jets Blues says, isn't the Tampa logo a red flag? Send them 30 of them. So let's do this. Let's have a little bit of fun because we've got 318 people worth of influence right now.
No. I like that one a lot, actually.
Everyone tweet at the Patriots and tag all three of us in this and send them a picture of the Buccaneers flag.
Oh, I like it.
That's what I want to see. Everyone that tweets that out at the Patriots, tags all three of us. Every single one of you will be qualified for a T-shirt for the next month. That's what's going to happen. That's what I want to see. This is how you use the influence of having a bunch of disgruntled Jets fans.
Yeah,
all in one spot. I
like it. I approve.
Nick Hunter has been qualified.
Matt, which account is it? Let's make sure we're sending it to the right one.
The official New England Patriots account.
All right. Guess who's gonna be looking up? I gotta find like a good
Jet
Bucks
Nation
player.
responding in kind. You want to push our buttons?
Oh,
we're animals.
Just gonna send them a friggin'
it's not gonna go well.
Blast of it.
Tag Woody Johnson too.
That'd be great.
That's a good one.
Get Woody Johnson to tackle their mascot like Jamal at the Pro Bowl.
Oh, that would just be amazing.
It'd be so fun.
All right. So let's see. Photo ban. Actually, I guess should we tweet at it or do we like comment back to their comment? What do you think we do
like
here?
What? Talking like a quote tweet or a reply? Like,
well, so like they said, I'm a Jets fan. Red flag, red flag, red flag. So I'm gonna quote their tweet. And I'm gonna add a picture of the Buccaneers red flag logo.
Oh yeah.
And then where's my emojis? Now I gotta look up red flag. I don't have red flag on here. Flag. Okay. All right, now I gotta tag you guys in it. Damn, see, this is hard to do on stream. I'm not good at my Twitter game anyway.
Yeah. Well, where do you get a Bucks picture from? Where you guys get that?
Just on the internet, my friend.
See if there's a GIF maybe of the flag going.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. And I guess I should tag NY Jets. Let's do that. We'll tag the official Jets.
Oh, there's one. There's a really good one. Look at this, guys.
See it? Oh, that's cute.
I like it.
Little clip art flag.
Yeah.
I sent 6 red
it's
flags
a gift too.
as well, I think. Did I do that right? I think I did it right. I don't know if I did it right. But either way. Benjamin says, as a Rams fan, I did my part. I appreciate it. This is is Ryan Huffman computer dust now. No, I'm not. I've got an all-in-one, unfortunately. No big tower. God, what else are you guys talking about? Quote the retweet. Yup.
Quote
like it. Nah, I quoted him. Frankie from Flatbush says, why is Ryan a logo again? He started drinking. No, my computer doesn't work. not my computer. My computer works fine, and I could see myself moving around on my side. But for some reason, let's see. Let's see if I can pop back up. Boom. Nope, I'm frozen. For whatever reason, it doesn't like me tonight. This is like the second time in a row. I guess I just got to stop using that app for that behind the scenes camera. I really liked it too.
Yeah, that was cool.
Eddie says, hit that like button.
I sent mine.
Dackle says, saw a Patriots fan in London with a Newton jersey on.
Oh, poor
I actually felt sorry for the guy. It's hard to feel sorry for those guys. I can't.
I feel bad for no one except us. That's it.
Buck's picture is usually in a toilet. I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either, buddy. I don't know what that
I don't
means.
know. Ooh, but you know what I got to do? I do have to step aside for another commercial break, and then we'll get back. We'll pick another qualifier after this quick word from our sponsor. Want to get an advantage over your sportsbook? You need to download BetQL, the only app you'll need to make smart bets. Their best bets computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports and gives you the reasoning behind why you should place the bet. Their model covers everything from spreads, over-unders, and player prop bets. Don't want to use the model and prefer to do your own research? BetQL has all the necessary tools for your research needs. There's sharp data so you can see who the pros are backing, line movement so you can jump on betting opportunities in real time, team summaries highlighting previous success against the spread and over-under, and team lineup breaking news and injury status updates. Plus, you can save all your picks in one place to track your success and winning streaks as well as view your rank on their leaderboards. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store now to download BetQL. You can also head to try.betql.co/JetsTalk to get started now. Enter discount code JetsTalk at payment checkout for 25% off any of their subscription offerings. You can find all this information in the description of this video. Make sure to check out their BetMGM offer in the description in order to receive a free year of BetQL. Also check out their sportsbook offers page if you live in any of the eligible states to claim free offers upon signing up for one of the many sportsbooks listed. Don't miss out on your chance to beat your sportsbook this football season.
Dominating your fantasy league? Prove it.
Shaping up to be a great game between these two teams. There's no telling what might happen.
Enhance the game with 3 easy steps. Predict, compete, and win. Start now and play your first $20 risk-free. Only on WinView.
All right, so I saw a really good comment in here. Where did it go? It was a trade idea for Green Bean.
Yeah, you see that?
Joe drops in. He says, Green Bean, if the Giants offered you both first-round picks for Becton, do you say yes? We have potentially an injury-prone or injury-issued left tackle who looks amazing when healthy. Would you consider taking both of the Giants' first-round picks for Becton? Green Bean, I'm going to let you answer that first because it's directed at you.
Look, I love Becton. I think he's the real deal. He has had his injuries. This one is not really his fault. Like, honestly, you get rolled on. I know people are lumping them all together. But he does potentially have injury concerns. I think if you're going to throw me 2 first-round picks, everybody has their price, and that might just do it for Becton. I don't think I could turn that down, and I love Becton.
Matt, what about you?
4 first.
Yeah, there's not many non-quarterbacks that I would say no to 2 first-rounders for. Right? Like, I don't know how many. The Giants are going to be a top 5 pick. The Bears could be a top 10 pick. If you do that, there's a chance you have 4 top 15 picks. Like, I feel like you have to. Like when you put it that way, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I guess it depends on how you feel about Becton, right? Like is Becton your franchise left tackle for the next 15 years, or is there a shade of doubt that you kind of have in the back of your head? You know, at that point, if you're getting 2 first-round picks, maybe you consider, trading him and re-signing Fant at that point, right? And then just trying to get the tackle with one of your 4 first-round picks.
Totally. And you use one of them to get another left tackle that has a good shot of being a stud, and then you got a free first-round pick. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's risk involved, but there's risk involved with everything. I think 2 firsts. I don't know. Just like Matt said, I really like the way he put that. There's not many non-quarterbacks that you would turn down 2 firsts. Once you know that the guy's like the spiritual leader of your team, like he's the emotional centerpiece, then people's value does increase. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to lose the heart and soul. Like you wouldn't trade Ray Lewis in his prime for, the Baltimore Ravens wouldn't trade Ray Lewis in his prime for shit. You know what I mean? It's not worth it. At the same time, there's not many people like that. I think you got to take it.
Yeah, I think that creates a really interesting situation because you look at the trades that have involved 2 first-round picks, and very rarely do they work out well for that team. The Seahawks are the most recent example of that. We now have a stud in Elijah Vera Tucker and what could very well wind up being a top 15 pick in the 2022 draft. Not to mention they paid Jamal a ton of money. Any of those 2 first-round pick type players are always getting a massive contract in addition to those first-round picks. You look at Khalil Mack. His first year with the Bears was fantastic, and he's still a good pass rusher. But I think you might consider holding on to your 2 first-round picks, given what you've seen from him overall, given the money and the picks. Jalen Ramsey was another 2 first-round pick kind of guy. I don't know. How many 2 first-round pick trades ever work out for the team? Like, would you say Jalen Ramsey has worked out for the Rams, or would you say that Khalil has worked out for the Bears? Matt, I'll throw it to you first.
Rams. I would say Rams probably. I mean, they're a legitimate Super Bowl contender this year. Bears, I would say probably not. Like, what did it get them? A playoff appearance? They haven't done anything since then. So, I would say the Raiders probably got the better end of that deal. Where jury's still out, but I tend to think the Rams got a pretty nice deal for Ramsey, all things considered, especially if they win a Super Bowl.
Greenby, what about you? How do you feel about the 2 first-round pick guys that have been traded so far?
Well, and that's really an interesting question too. I think sometimes it can be beneficial on both sides. Like when you look at the Jaguars, the Jalen Ramsey Jaguars marriage was bad news. He did not want to be there. There was all kinds of stuff, if I remember correctly. So I don't remember who they took though specifically. Like I think one of the Bears picks, wasn't that Cleveland Farrell? And yeah, I forget who it is. Like that's key for me. To know how well it worked out. But just like Matt said, when you look at the Bears, I mean, they brought Khalil Mack on there thinking he was going to, catapult them into like domination. And that one year they made it to the playoffs, and they've been kind of on the, on the bottom of the NFL for not really the bottom, but it hasn't worked out like they thought. So, I don't know how well that trade worked out for them.
I have seen a lot of people comment on the Patriots flag, and man, I really enjoy that. LBP Eagle Eye has the actual Buccaneers flag waving in a video, and I have really enjoyed. Oh man, this is great. I'm glad this is like this has become a thing. I enjoy it, boys and girls. Okay, we've got Nick Hunter and NYC Gang Green and E-Rock Polk all qualifying for a shirt, along with everyone that tweeted as well. So I guess we are getting towards the end of our stream. So let's do this. Matt, why don't you go to, or actually, you know what? I'll go to it. I'll go to my last week's Talkin' Jets video, and we'll look at the column of comments. And then let's see. This is me trying to do 2 things at once, and I did not multitask. Or I cannot multitask. Whoops. Not what I'm trying to do. Go on the page, Ryan. Sorry. All right. So we got 46 commenters from last week. I'm going to write down 5 different names. We're going to go Eric, Craig, We're going to go Daniel Yanes. And we're going to do, let's see, give me another name. Sam Rosendahl.
Good name.
Rosendahl. All right. So I got a bunch of names written down here. And we're going to play a little bit of odds and evens. And since I can't play, it's only going to be Matt and Greenbean. So Matt and Greenbean. Real quick. Odds or evens. 3, 2, 1. Oh, Matt or Greenbean. Okay. Oh, evens. Okay.
Yeah.
Mikey Miles, gone. Joe S, gone. Thomas Cahill, gone. NYC
Sorry,
getting
guys.
in, gone. Eric Craig, gone.
You go.
Sam Rosendahl, gone. All right. All right. Odds or evens. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, odds. Ooh, oh, there goes Jets fan. Greenbean, sorry. TJ Decker, gone. 𝐒𝐿, gone. And then there were 3 on my list. All right. Odds or evens. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, evens. Okay, now there's 2 left. All right. 3, 2, 1. Oh, man, you threw me off. 5. All right, 7 levels. You almost got it, but it's going to be Daniel Yanes. Is going to be our t-shirt giveaway winner. So Daniel Yanes, hit me up on Gmail or DM or something like that. Let me get your information. I'll send you out a t-shirt. And I just want to say thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight and having a lot of fun. Hopefully we can get back here next Tuesday, and we won't be discussing a win or a loss, but maybe there's going to be some developments going on with the coaching staff, some news that pops up from around the NFL, and maybe we'll do a special bring on the viewer panel next week. I think that might be kind of fun. And we'll have you guys on as well. So guys, that has reached the end of our stream. So I'm going to go around our panel and I want to get our closing thoughts. Greenbean, I'll kick it to you first.
Well, good stuff. I'm glad that we did that to the Patriots. That makes me happy. And for guys who are interested, I'm about 10:30. We're going to jump on a different stream called the After Hours stream over at Greenbean Jets Fan. All are welcome. And we just kind of squeezed the last couple drops out of the lemon for tonight. You're all welcome. Hope to see you.
Matt, any last words for our panel?
Way too early mock draft on the channel today. Tomorrow, new episode of Just Jets, answering voicemails, doing a State of the Union at the bye. Having a good time. Love hanging out with you guys. See you again next week.
I love it. Boys and girls, it's been a lot of fun hanging out with you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us in the chat. We look forward to more Talkin' Jets next week. This is Jets Talk signing off. J-E-T-S.